We're going to start it up again. Okay, so what makes that funny? What makes that funny?
It's random.
It's random. What else makes it funny?
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Why? Because it's random, but also because, what about the words we've chosen?
We don't get to see the story.
You don't get to see the story, and the words we've chosen are what? Not helpful. They're the wrong words, right? We just chose the wrong words. How do you avoid your speech becoming Mad Libs? What are some
Synonyms.
strategies?
Synonyms.
Use synonyms. That's one way. What are some other strategies?
Say it out loud.
Say it out loud. Practice it. What are some other strategies? What are some other strategies? Do you know that every word that you use correctly? Do you use any words incorrectly?
Yeah.
There's a
Funner.
Johannes actually has an excuse, the rest of us don't, but we do it anyway. Back in the book, here, make this bigger. No, we can't. Won't let us do that. All right. One student found this out the hard way in a speech about America's criminal justice system. He referred several times to criminal persecution. And what should he have referred to? Criminal prosecution. But he didn't realize that he didn't know the difference. So how do you check? What's the best way to check?
Someone else read it.
Have someone else read it, right? In one of your practice sessions, drag someone into the room and go, listen to this. Your mom, you're going to be home. So your mom, your dad, anybody. Johannes can't do this because he's going to be far away from home. Are you going anywhere for break? You going to hang out in the dorms? Oh, I'm sorry.
We're a blast.
You and the baseball players.
Come join us.
Baseball players and Johannes.
Yep.
Probably Lamia too. She's probably not going anywhere. Okay, so
On vacation.
all right, so words can mean the same thing. You can look them up in a book of synonyms and they still don't fit. So fill in the words here. They all, education, knowledge, expertise, all mean the same, pretty much the same thing. Sentence one. Because he won a scholarship at a top university, Enrique received excellent education. I wouldn't say he received excellent knowledge, but education. Sophia acquired her blank of Chinese history by reading a number of books on the subject. Knowledge of Chinese history. And what would we say about Sophia, who read a number of books? Possibly she could speak Chinese, but she read a number of books. Books. Those are those things between two covers, and we have a bunch of them over there in the Learning Center. I'd like to take you over sometime and introduce you to a few, get to know them personally. What do we say about Sophia, who read a number of books? Trevor, what would you say about Sophia, who read a number of books? What might you call her?
Smart.
Smart, or less happily, you might call her
Book nerd.
book nerd,
Bookworm.
bookworm, geek. We might do that. But Sophia actually got something out of it. She got knowledge of Chinese history. Ebony's blank, as a business consultant, comes from having worked with many clients over the years. Ebony's
Is it expertise?
expertise. Expertise. Was the only one you had left. Okay? So we see that words can mean a variety of things. And sometimes words can be used to cover things up. This is a Paul Krugman column. And Krugman says, let's take an original Bible passage here. Here it is. This is from Ecclesiastes, famous book in the Old Testament of the Hebrew Bible. And Ecclesiastes says, I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happeneth to them all. What is the essence of what this passage says?
Yeah, look.
Maybe luck has something to do with it. Do you win because you're great? No. Why do you win? You get lucky. Time and chance happeneth to them all. You happen to be there at the right time, the right place. Part of what we're trying to do for you is to get you to the right time and the right place. So that it's not exactly the same as just blind random luck, but you're prepared when the right time and the right place come along. That's what we're trying to do with you. However, Krugman says you could rewrite this into bureaucratic speech. Objective considerations of contemporary phenomena compel the conclusion that success or failure in competitive activities exhibits no tendency to measure it with innate capacity, but that a considerable element of the unpredictable must invariably be taken into account. When you read that, little thing, what's your first response? You read it. Johannes, what's your first response? Yeah, to this one. Exactly. Exactly. What, why? Moby, what?
It's not really saying anything, it's just using a bunch of
It's using a bunch of big words. It says the same thing that the Poetic says. Its essence is, just because you're smart, don't mean you're going to be rich. Now, what's the difference between saying time and chance occur to us all and my saying just because you're smart don't mean you're going to be rich? Why might you use that or not use something like that?
You want to sound smart?
You want to sound smart. You want to sound credible. Might there be a time when you'd want to sound not smart? When you're arguing with somebody? When might you want to sound not smart? What do Americans think of people with college educations? What do Americans think of people who are smart? Do we like them? What did we call Sophia, who read several books on Chinese history? She was a nerd. Smart people are generally not liked. So if you want to appear like one of the boys, you might say something like, just because you're smart, don't mean you're going to be rich. If you want to appear smart, poetic, thoughtful, you want to use the other. Language makes a difference. And just to reinforce this, we go back to the text, and in the very next section, there he is. There's Paul Krugman. Nobel Prize winning economist. He would not find a hearing here at Bethany College. Our economists are far to the right of Krugman. Krugman is left of center. Professor Alsina is far to the right of center. So, Krugman won the Nobel Prize. There you go. Okay. The next section on language talks about using familiar, concrete words. In your speaking and in your writing, I see a lot of abstraction and of shying away from talking about the concrete, Talk about the concrete. Talk about the specific instance as an example. Talk about, use words that help us to see that thing that you want to talk about. So if you're talking about steroids, the tendency to abstract when you talk about something like steroids is huge. But what you need to talk about is who. Who's taken steroids? Who's the most famous person we have encountered in the last 6 months who's taken steroids and admitted it?
Armstrong.
So who are you going to talk about? Steroids? Lance Armstrong. Which one is going to be remembered? Lance Armstrong is what you're going to remember. Talk about the specific, the concrete. Prune your language. It's the next thing down. Prune your language. Here is, Sitting Bull was one of the most important and significant of all Native American leaders. He was born in the year of 1831 near Grand River, in an area that is now part of the state of South Dakota. A fearless and courageous warrior, he ended up being elected chief of the Hunkpapa Sioux in 1867. In the following years, he also attracted a large and numerous following among the tribes of the Cheyenne and the Arapaho. He is best known to the people in this day and age for his instrumental role in helping to lead the defeat of General Custer at the Battle of Little Bighorn in 1876. Although eventually required against his will to live his life on the Standing Rock Reservation in South Dakota, he never surrendered to anyone his dignity or his personal devotion to the Sioux way of life. You see how many words that uses? I see a lot of writing from guys your age and a lot of speaking that uses all of those words that you don't need. But you can't cut if you don't prepare early enough. So you've got to prepare, you've got to work on wording the speech now so that when you practice the speech, you can cut. And when you review your practice, you'll be able to hear, oh, I've got way too many words. You don't need in the year of 1831. It's just, he was born in 1831. You don't need to say Michael Jordan was born in the state of North Carolina in the year of 1957. What's Jordan's birthday? I don't know what it is, but he's just approaching 50, so it must be 1963.
February.
What year?
Oh.
He turned 50. So 1963, if he turned 50. But you don't need to say in the state of North Carolina in the year of 1950. You'd say he was born in North Carolina in 1950. Make it simple. Make it concrete. Make it simple. Prune. But you can't prune if you don't prepare. So prepare, prune.